Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. How you all doing? Still got pets. Still got pets on the feeds. Who knows when the comp will start? Perhaps soon, perhaps in 45 minutes. Hard to say. Quite a night. Quite a long night. Quite a long night for us here. But what are you going to do? We do not know what kind of endurance. Let me know if there's any information that that we have received about the competition outside of the initial information. All I saw was the Instagram, of course. I feel like I saw some people saying that somebody said it was going to start soon, but I don't know how true that is. Do a prediction on when the endurance comp. Oh, you know what? So we did do a who wins HOH prediction. This should really go on top. So yeah, we did do a prediction on who wins HOH, but I am very likely going to refund that prediction so that we can do more specific stuff. Like who drops next kind of thing. Spinning discs would point me in the direction of Vince. But all it takes, because like spinning discs is going to be tough for Keanu, I think. But all it takes is for Vince to not be good at it. And just like that, Ava or Ashley wins an HOH. You know what I mean? If it's slip and slide, just hand it over to Keanu. It's already done. We don't even need to watch it. If it's pressure cooker, it's anyone's game. Chicken wires again seems unlikely to me, mostly because they haven't shown that on the feeds in a while. But they also haven't done this for a while where it's like a surprise feeds come on endurance kind of thing. Mario, thank you for the 37th month. Let me try to test something here. Hey. The one Leah won in Janky World. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a classic comp. Oop. I thought about the BB13 Rachel comp. I did. Pressure cooker in the have no room. Yeah, I mean, like you're talking about like the like hold the thing against the thing. I mean that I guess technically that could count as a classic comp because it's reminiscent of like pressing the button on your face from BB5. So yeah, I am very tired. I would love if we started early. But we'll see. Who knows how long it goes? If it's a couple of hours, we're in for it. If it's pressure cooker, would I go to bed? I mean, if it's pressure cooker, this gets long. This becomes a long stream. It's 9:20 p.m. How am I tired? Have you been watching the feeds of Vinny and Morgan all week? I took 2 naps today. Involuntary naps, mind you, which are most of my naps. Degrod, thank you for the 65th. Do I caffeinate? Not often. BDG, thank you for the 48th. Blessings to anyone, Vince. No, not a coffee guy. Cold, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Robot Army. This, by the way, is the view on Patreon. Currently center screen. Still on pets. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can. That's you. Thoughts on matcha? I've had it. Had it before. Let's run a Q&A. Let's do some questions, answers. Let's while we wait for this. Feel free to ask some questions. For the Patreon, I'm gonna pull you over to the to this screen for now. I just live off of water. Yeah. Patreon is $15 a month for the tier for the live streams. But if you just want the videos of the watch alongs like the Genius and Survivor and stuff, that's just the $5 version. Does my cat like to walk on a leash? I've never had him on a leash before. I don't think he would like it. Do I try to sleep when the contestants sleep? If possible. But it's not often very possible. Did I see the live feeds dog controversy? No, what is that? Who do I want to win versus who do I think will win? Ashley, Keanu, or Morgan at this point. Am I signing tip-in sheets for the book? Okay, so the book, I have a little more clarification. The book plates are, yeah, like, not full more clear. They're sticker kind of things. So basically, if you want a signed book plate to be able to insert into the book, you can buy from the Eagle Eye Bookstore. That store does ship internationally. So that is the best way to get a signed something for the book shipped internationally. Eagle Eye, it's on TaranArmstrong.com, which will hopefully have a cleaner design for the amount of links that are currently being added. But Eagle Eye, it says book plate. That's the one to click on for international shipping. Do I think there's another elimination competition? I don't think so. Is there a celebrity Big Brother coming? I don't know. What album would I request in my HOH basket? I think I've answered this before. I would request the Color Spectrum by the Deer Hunter. It's a very long album with a lot of variety, and it's one of my favorites. It's perfect for if you just have one album. It's a great one to have. Looking forward to the RHAP live for sure. I love live events are very fun. I highly recommend them. Definitely come check them out if you have the ability. Am I going to try my hand at writing a fictional book? I would love to, but we'll see how this one goes. Euro, thank you for the $10. Favorite movie of all time? I have been hearing about One Battle After Another. My favorite movie of all time is probably Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. That whole trilogy is up there for me. They're all 10 out of 10. Will I live in San Diego forever? I kind of hope so. Good pick. Thank you. Why not Old Boy instead of Sympathy? I just preferred Sympathy. I mean I love Old Boy. Feeds back. Well, there goes the Q&A. Feeds have not been back for me yet, so are we sure? Who says feeds back? Pluto said feeds back? Yeah, not for me yet. Maybe it's soon. Let's get ready for it, I guess. Oh, yeah, here we are. Morgan is watching. It looks like they're just is it pressure cooker? I can't see. Oh my god, I think it's pressure cooker. No, no, yeah, it's they're holding a sword. They're not holding a button. It's so hard to see. It's very dark. See? I believe they are holding up some kind of. It's so dark. Yeah, like some kind of sword. Yeah, we just talked about this. My instinct was, is that a classic? And then turns out, I guess so. All right, I'm taking volume off of Morgan because they're just standing there in silence. Vince might get a cramp. No! My groin! No! When did we first see this? I believe BB19. Oh, actually, I think it might have been Celebrity Big Brother. Or was it OTT? No, I think it was OTT. I think OTT was the first time. Or yeah. Yeah, yeah. But like I said, it's kind of reminiscent of like the BB5 hold the button on your face one. All right, so I'm going to refund who wins HOH and now do a prediction. Who is out first? It's so funny that there's still a cat on the screen. Keanu, Ashley, Ava, Vince. Who drops first? That is the prediction. Let me also run a poll on YouTube. Are they in the have not room? I doubt it. Oh wait, no. You might be onto something. Yeah, they might be somewhere. Now that I see this angle of Vince. It does look like they're in the house. It does kind of look like the gym to me. But yeah. I think we're definitely in the house somewhere. No, yeah, they were just in the gym. They just were in the gym. Yeah, I think it's got to be have not room. Let me just make this smaller. I don't want to go all the way to the right in case they actually. That's probably no. I think center is probably best. How's that? Who's my money on? It's a good question. It's really like it's a comp that kind of can go in any direction. I don't really understand the mechanics of who's going to be good at this. I think that didn't Angela like make it far? Yeah, that's the Patreon view. Wiley with $2, thank you. Can I explain how this comp works? Okay, so they are standing, holding a sword. It looks to me like they're able to rest their arms on their torso. Basically, they're holding. Pretend this is a sword. They're holding a sword, and they're holding it up against some kind of thing. It's too dark for me to. It's a mastermind face. I don't know if they're holding something onto it or if it's like if there's a button. But they're holding it, and they have to make sure that it's pressed in enough. Keanu one-handed is interesting. So I've talked a lot in the past about resting one arm at a time is super effective when it comes to muscular endurance. I don't know if there's muscular endurance involved here. Robot Naz, thank you, by the way, for the 70th month tier 3. That is a legendary supporter right there. And Karen, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Robot Army. In this case, I feel like one-handed just makes you less stable, and switching out just provides opportunity for you to screw up. I think this comp can last a long time with people that are not athletically inclined. So I'm not overly concerned about actual muscular endurance or anything like that. I think this is just like a step above pressure cooker. In terms of like its difficulty, like it's totally doable like pressure cooker, just a little bit more skill involved. I don't remember exactly how long it was. 9 hours 56 minutes during Janky World. Oh boy. Oh boy, we might be in for it tonight. On one hand, it was kind of like a welcome surprise that we were going to have a comp on the feeds tonight. On the other hand, I personally would have appreciated a heads up. Would have been nice to be able to prep for this. Ashley says, "This is not my comp. I'm shaking already." Morgan saying something. I mean, the thing for Ashley is... Oh! That was worst case scenario for Ashley. I was literally about to say it would be phenomenal for Ashley if Ava won and she didn't have to. Literally about to say that. Ava's out, by the way, if I didn't make that clear. Ava was the first to drop. Next prediction, who is out next? Keanu, Ashley, Vince. I mean, right now it's if Ashley was telling the truth about not feeling good, I think I'm gonna give this to Keanu. Ava is saying it was actually pretty heavy, and she was feeling a lot of difficulty holding it up. Which means this could be different to the one that they did last time. Indescribable with $50. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate that, Indescribable. She says her arms are already sore. Can I don't think I can turn the volume up. I think I am at max volume. Given that Angela and Leah lasted really long on this one last time, and that Ava's saying that her arms are already wiped, I'm assuming this is a different setup than last year, and they don't want it to go 9 hours. Oh my God. What? How many is that? 50?
Holy cow! 53! Come on, baby!
Oh boy. Chandler with 50 gifted over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Make sure you thank Chandler for that generosity. Wild stuff. Not often you get the holy cow of 53 soundbite. It's hard to we only have a good shot of Vince. He does look fairly shaky. He's also like it looks like he's having trouble focusing. Scar, thank you for the subscription. Lisa, thank you for the 200 bits. The lack of sleep definitely is not going to be good for this particular kind of competition. I mean, that is a huge thing. This endurance comp lasts less than an hour. Good thing about this Patreon subscription instead of renewing my Paramount subscription. Angel, thank you for the subscription. Jen with 47. Susie, thank you. I want tacos. That sounds like fun. Warwick. Oh my God, with $100. But first, thank you, Warwick. Warwick, massive supporter of everything I do. Thank you so much. And Catherine with 5 as well. Wait, why are they running? Casey, thank you for the 29th. BB19 version lasted 2 hours, 52 minutes. Interesting. Thank you for ordering the audiobook. They heard me talking. Ariel, thank you for the $2. Vince would last forever if it was Morgan's face. Taco, thank you for the 100. It does look like they're all kind of struggling. This must be way harder than previous versions they've done. They do look pretty far away. I don't know if it's like a longer distance, maybe. What up, Tim? Thank you for the 20. I gave some love. I appreciate that, Tim. I am hearing some grunting. So, famously, the final 5 HOH is one of the worst HOHs is the worst HOH to win. Obviously, it gets you to the final 4, which is nice. Sorry, I'm listening to Morgan now. It's deeper reasons. Boss lady, thank you for $2. I think it is in the Have Not Room, yeah. So final 5 HOH, obviously can make noms and they're safe. They get to final 4, but they aren't able to guarantee control of their own nominations depending on the veto outcome. It's very difficult for them to keep multiple people off the block. And then they don't get to compete in Final 4 HOH, which is very bad. Because Final 4 HOH is a 1 in 3 shot at immunity to Final 3. Final 4 HOH is one of the better ones to win. Because you can also compete at Final 3 HOH. So if you land the right position at Final 5, Vince really looks like he's struggling. You can be all but guaranteed to make Final 3 depending on the Final 4 layout. If I'm Ashley, I have to take a win if I can get it. But she's not in a ton of danger. this week. She's probably in more danger next week. But she has to take a win if she can get one. And the problem is also that, like, especially for Ashley, Final Four HOH is probably the more winnable comp than the Final Four Veto, which tends to be really physical. If Keanu drops, would have been give it to Ashley? No, I don't think so. He shouldn't. It's a very real shot he leaves on an Ashley HOH. There's also a very real shot he leaves on a Keanu HOH. He should be trying to win this. Screw your music. Nobody wants you to have music. It's so hard to tell for me how it's going. It's the same angles, and it's really dark on my screen. Lindsay, thank you for the subscription, by the way. Making sure you're well rested. Ashley's starting to move around more. Still heard about how they edited Pressure Cooker. That's fair. Ashley's moving a lot. Yeah, I mean, Pressure Cooker on stream was a classic. That was a massive stream. She's breathing heavy. She's moving around. I think she's dropping soon. I think she's done. She's leaning over. It's bad news. And that's it. Ashley is out. Here it is. Who wins? Keanu or Vince? Yeah, she looked like she just got tapped out. Like, this was definitely not the same as the previous version, previous iteration. She looked really, like, physically exhausted. I mean, I genuinely, I think that they've like, they've just gone all in on Keanu. And they're very happy to keep giving him physical comps. Does Vince make a deal with Keanu? I'm sure he'll try if he feels like he's not going to win it, which he might. And I'm sure Keanu would happily take one. The question is, can he be talked into putting up Vince? Well, the problem is you can't even try to convince him to put up Vince next to Morgan because he'll immediately rat you out. The problem is if you don't put Vince up next to Morgan, he'll either win it and use it on Morgan or throw it and give Morgan a better chance. We're back. Keanu offering to go one leg. They've just mutually agreed to go one leg. Man, this is actually the worst. Vince already dropped his leg back. I think. Um, genuinely, like, egg wire, spinning discs, pressure cooker, all would have been doable. Even this comp, the way that they did it before, would have been doable. Wow, they said it was hard for them to even get the sword up in the first place, the women. Thank you, Sammy. I'll throw the next HOH to you. One of you's winning, which means you're not, one of you isn't competing. What are you talking about? Ariel, thank you for the $2. Definitely weighted sticks and bad footing. Oh, throw on Dodgeball, bro, the movie. Movie night with the boys. Let's go, bro. So if Vince wins, he has to put up Keanu. If he doesn't put Keanu up initially and Keanu wins the veto, he can force Morgan on the block and send Morgan home. So he'd have to nominate Keanu initially. Because even if Vince wanted Morgan gone, did somebody just drop? I wasn't even... We went to animals, but it could just be... Did you guys see it on the stream on Patreon? No. It could just be that they had to cut and it's just still defaulting to animals. Or it could be that it's over, which has happened in the past. If Keanu does go up, he likely goes up with Ava from Vince. We're back, by the way. No winner. If Keanu wins the veto, Ashley goes up. Maybe Ashley leaves if Keanu decides to turn on Ashley with Vince and go because if Morgan wants Ashley to stay, Keanu might decide he wants Ashley to go. And then maybe Vince also keeps Ava because he wants Ashley to go and he doesn't want Morgan to have other options. It's possible. But more likely Ava goes there. If Keanu wins, I think he's inclined. Keanu finally getting to bro down. Bro, there's only been 3 of us guys in here for so long. Yeah, don't worry, Keanu. We know. Are we really doing this, Keanu? Jimmy was one of them? Really? It's literally not even accurate. Jimmy was more aligned with the bros than Keanu ever was. I just want this comp to end so I don't have to listen to Keanu anymore, to be honest. Ashton, thank you for the 3rd. Lindsay, thank you for the 5. Gifted.
Wow, a 5.
Appreciate that. All right, so let's talk through Keanu HOH. He's telling Vince he won't put him on the block. Um, Again, if that's true, and he nominates Morgan and let's say Ava, he is, you know, giving Vince an opportunity to win the veto and take Morgan down, forcing Ashley on the block. They then maybe take out Ava. But even if Vince doesn't do that, even if he doesn't do, Vince doesn't do that, he'd almost certainly just throw the veto, which just gives Morgan a better chance of winning the veto, in which case it would just end up the same thing if Vince isn't the renom. So obviously, like Ava and Ashley would probably be trying to convince Keanu that Vince needs to be on the block because he'll use the veto on Morgan. But if Ashley tries to pitch that, um, Keanu's just going to rat her out. And then she'll be in hot water with Morgan, which is very bad. And Keanu probably won't listen to them anyway. If he does put Morgan up next to Vince, there's a chance that they do vote out Vince over Morgan. If they don't, Morgan wins the veto. She comes down. Maybe Ashley goes up in her place. Or sorry, Ava goes up in her place. Could maybe come down to a 1-1 tie that Keanu breaks to evict Ava or Vinny. I mean, it's incredibly vital for Vinny to keep Keanu on side this week, which shouldn't be hard because he's the only guy left. Because if he loses him and he's with the HOH, he's in a ton of trouble. We're just talking scenarios. The fact that both Ava and Ashley got completely tanked out like 20 minutes ago and these two are just chilling is wild. Vince was targeting Ava, but I suspect he might shift to targeting Ashley. Because Ashley's close to Morgan. Corey, thank you for the 5 gifted.
Wow, another 5.
Ava's now alone and Ashley's connected to Morgan, so it makes a little more sense to keep Ava over Ashley now if he can. And he can make the argument that she took out Lauren, so he gets to take out Ashley. Danny, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Robot Army. Lana, thank you for the 24th. Ryan, thank you for the $2. Best to win for Ashley. It's honestly hard to say. Both are bad. Keanu is kind of right. If Vince could trust Keanu to not put him on the block, giving this to Keanu does basically guarantee Vince final 3. If he also trusts Keanu to not evict him at 4. But he shouldn't trust either of those things. So, and you have to worry about, yeah, Keanu just winning out at that point. Yeah, there's another aspect to this. Vince would never throw because then you'd have to give up the HOH bed, which means he doesn't get to sleep with Morgan anymore. And it's over. We talked about it. Keanu was too risky with it. Vince has won the final 5 HOH. Someone kill me. On the bright side, he will find another way to screw up his game somehow. Jeez. So here's what we're thinking, right? Vince has to nominate Keanu. He has to. There's no way Morgan would let him not nominate Keanu, knowing that if Keanu wins the veto, he will force her on the block. There's just no way. So unless he grows a spine and also makes a move that's not even good for him, because why would he want to evict Morgan on this HOH? I mean, he's saying that he needs to win jury votes, but like, what? You're going to take out Morgan for Keanu? And just give Keanu more on his resume? Paige, thank you for the 21st. Puts up Keanu. 95, thank you for $10. A little something for the additional overtime I'll be working. Yeah, well. Oh, jeez. Listen, we can only just hope that he quickly does what Morgan wants. Thank you for the 1,000 bids. Because here's the thing. It is very simple. This is not the Lauren nomination that didn't actually make sense. The only nominations that make any kind of sense without him outright betraying Morgan are Keanu and Ava. The reason is, if Keanu is not on the block, he can use the veto to force Morgan on the block and potentially send Morgan home. She will not allow that. So Keanu has to be on the block. Additionally, if Ava is off the block, she can do the same thing if she wins the veto. Now, Vince might argue, I'm not worried about Ava winning the veto. But what Morgan and Ashley can argue is if Ashley is off the block, she is significantly less likely to use the veto to force Morgan on the block because Ashley likes Morgan and doesn't want Morgan on the block or to send Morgan home. So it just makes sense to put up Ava. On top of that, judges. It's the judges. So Ava and Keanu should be the easy nominations here. In the event that Ava wins, you just put up Ashley. They send out Keanu. In the event that Keanu wins, that's where things get a little trickier. If Keanu wins the veto, Vince could renom Morgan if he wants to do something with his HOH. He could renom Ashley and try to get Ashley out as a way to diminish Morgan. Or he could renom Ashley and allow for or just accept that Ashley stays and Ava goes. Then you do have of course, that possibility that Ashley wins the veto, uses it on Ava, and then the two of them get to decide between Morgan and Keanu which one they want to send home. Which would be a baller move. But for Ashley, you kind of lose Morgan for no reason. But hey, you know, might kind of be worth it. I don't know. Because it's not like Morgan's taking Ashley to the final two. She's taking Vince. So a pissed off Morgan versus a not pissed off Morgan. Maybe you can say, hey, Morgan's going to bring me to final three over Ava if I take out Keanu and everything goes simple. But then you're just in a final three with Vince and Morgan. And Morgan just takes Vince. And Vince probably just takes Morgan. You can hope that Vince takes you, but you're still then sitting there with Vince at 5 HOHs and you at 0. And that's no good. If you win, you can take him or Morgan, but that's still kind of a bad spot. So you might as well just go for broke and piss off Morgan at 5, I think. I think now's the time. Alternatively, again, you could just straight up evict Morgan at 5. And try to go all in with Keanu. If Keanu feels betrayed by Vince, you can win the veto, save Keanu, make him promise you final two. It's just he's such a bro. You know? And then basically you just hope that you can beat Keanu in a final two, which is maybe not impossible, especially if you take out Morgan. Honestly, it's kind of, I kind of like that play more than trying to bank on winning Final Four veto so you can take out one of Morgan or Vinny. Of course, all this requires her to actually win the veto and be off the block. Um, all of my mentions are poor Taran. Oh boy. Ashley should have been better. I mean, from what Ava was saying and from what we saw, this wasn't about being in like better shape. This was just like a pure upper body test. Like even Morgan, I think, would have struggled. I think Morgan probably would have been able to hang in there long enough to beat out Keanu making that mistake. But Keanu not making a mistake is probably never going to lose that comp. My name. Thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Robot Army. I don't know. This kind of feels like it might be Keanu's time, to be honest. I feel like they just gave him multiple physical comps in a row. Final Four HOH and veto tend to be relatively physical, especially the veto. Final 5 veto. Does anyone remember what was Final 5 veto last year? Final Five veto was Wild Robot. Is that true? Last year's BB Comics. Really, they did BB Comics with 5 last year? Are we sure? Let me see. Let me try looking it up. BB26. Let's see. Mackenzie nominated Angela and Chemo. That would have been at the final 6. So in the final 7. So final 7 was the Wild Robot. Then Janky Week. No, that was before. What am I doing? People are saying it is BB Comics. That was Final 4. Yeah, BB Comics was Final 5 veto. Then Final 4 was Passcode Protectors. Okay, so they did change it up last year. Last year they had a quizzy thing for Final 4. Oh no, it wasn't quizzy though. No, it was they were still running around. What was the HOH? Hidden Agenda. That was a booth comp. It's basically just like, what is the likelihood of this being physical? I mean, honestly though, like Keanu doesn't have a huge edge on Morgan in a physical comp. So it might not even matter. How do I get my hair to curl like that? Genuinely, it mostly just happens. I just need to get out of its way. Yeah, I straighten it every day. I straightened my hair one time in my life. It was I went to I think it was the Mayhem Music Festival. One of the Mayhem Music Festivals. And I had long hair and I straightened it so I could so I could look emo. I thought it'd be fun. That was not my aesthetic for the record. I just thought it would be fun at a concert to whip my hair around. Why baby? Thank you for gifting. Um, I had a picture at one point. It looked pretty ridiculous. I don't think I still have the picture. But it wasn't fun to straighten, for the record. Am I still looking for transcriptions? It's something you've been working on. Genuinely, it would be awesome. I mean, I don't know how exactly it would work, but like if there were a way to like actually transcribe all of the feeds, um even if it's not like perfect, it would be fairly cool because you could search through it pretty easily and get a rough outline of a transcript for things, and it wouldn't require as much. Like for some of the reenactments, I have to like go line by line and write down every word. It's a lot. Is the right? Where'd the feeds go? I just. How long was it like that? Patreon. Oh yeah, I don't think I have the straight hair picture. I have no idea where it would be, to be honest. How would you get in contact? I have an email on my website for the book. D Clouser, thank you for the $10. Thanks for all I did. Thank you. I am tired. Let me tell you. What's the book about? Oh, I looked ridiculous with straight hair. Because my hair was too thick to be straightened like that. And it was too like it like dried it out and everything, and I didn't know how to, have straight hair. So it was just like straight and poofy. Was not at all the look I was going for. Great, thank you. The fourth. What's the coolest thing reporting Big Brother has allowed me to do? life. This, like, but if you mean specifically doing it, I mean, like write a book, which again, specifically during coverage for the show, one of the cooler things I've done is go to the backyard and do backyard interviews. It was fun. Do I consider myself a BB historian? I think I have to. I think I literally have to. I wrote a book about the history of the show. I've probably done more research and work on it than 99% of 99.9% of people. There are people out there that probably still know more than me, though. About some things, at least. Will I ever continue the blockumentary audiobooks? Perhaps. Perhaps someday. Does CBS not like me? You're surprised they don't invite me to more things. No, don't say that. I don't know if you've heard me talk about CBS. From jump, I was never and could never be like an apologist for a company like that. Jessica, thank you for the $2. Been watching since 10 a.m. And they don't strike me as the kinds of people that would love to platform somebody that is willing to criticize them in a significant way. Susie, thank you for the $3. Also, like, for the record, like, I'm nothing to them. I'm insignificant. It's not like they think that there's value in me, but because I've got too much integrity, they're not gonna like, you know, they don't care about me. Do I have any gigs outside of my own streaming and RHAP? Well, the book. I used to do freelance work way back when. But right now it's like, I mean, I'll tell you, like, the current sort of trajectory I see myself heading in right now is into the off season. Obviously, a lot of stuff with the book happening. I would love to write more books. That would be very cool if that were ever a possibility for me. The Patreon, I think, is going to be my primary focus. There's been such a swelling of support on the Patreon. It might just be during the Big Brother season. I don't know yet. You know, everyone could fall off as soon as the season ends. I don't know. But if people are willing to stick around on the Patreon, you know, we've certainly got Survivor and The Amazing Race and Traders and all of that stuff. So that would be very cool. And I would love to, because like basically if people do stick around, it like will certainly give me the ability to like really put a lot of attention into it. Not just with the streams and everything, but like I really want to try to create some of my own games. And stuff like that. Just experiment with different things on the Patreon. Um, you know, maybe make some things exclusive to it, you know, stuff like that. I will always stream on Twitch and YouTube though. As well. Don't worry, nothing will stop. Basically, again, it's like, I mean, the thing for me is always like, um, you know, where where can I put my attention? Like, where is there enough interest for me to be able to do a thing? And sometimes there's stuff like the Tastemakers podcast. I love doing it. Nobody watches it. And I say nobody. There are fans, and I love the people that love the Tastemakers. But it can be tough to justify when there's a significant lack of interest, and it's like, you know, there's only so much time I have. So that's where it's like the Patreon stuff there's been so much interest in it that like I'm really excited to hopefully be able to like really dive in and be creative and try a bunch of things. Especially because, you know, the world where Patreon is like a steady, because what happens on Twitch, I'll tell you this, what happens on Twitch is a lot of you will hang out for the Big Brother season. You'll be subscribed. It's awesome. In the off season, I lose more than half of the subscribers from during the season. I would say like 60+% of the subscribers, and I make probably like a fifth of what I make during a season in the off season. My hope is that Patreon is a little more steady. Because if it is, like I said, like that will give me a platform to be able to like really push and try a bunch of things and do a bunch of things. And for the record, I'm not like, please unsubscribe if I'm not giving, like, the thing is during the off season, I don't provide as much content. I don't blame anyone who doesn't stay subscribed on Twitch. Like, you know, I don't have Big Brother episodes to watch. We do Survivor watch parties, which is fun. There's Goose Goose sometimes. There's Blood on the Clock Tower, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's not stuff that I'm doing that is as popular that like people stick around long enough. But the people that do, I'm super appreciative of. Jessica, thank you for the $2. Create games, Mr. Beast. Yeah, so I would love to like experiment with making some games. with some writing things. I've talked to Rob about this too, like different kinds of content we can make there. I really like Blood on the Clock Tower is fun. I want to make my own thing. You know what I mean? I want to make my own game. Uh, and watch people play it. And I want to write more books. I think those are the two. I will tell you this as well. I told the Patreon this a little while ago. I have currently been working on a video essay. The idea is my marketing team for the book were saying we need to sell in these other stores. I've talked about this. We need to sell in these other stores because we think we can hit a bestseller list. Can you offer some kind of reward for if we hit like 500 sales at stores that aren't Amazon or Book Catapult, the two places I've been pointing people? So my thought was like, well, I could make a little video essay based on a chapter from the book. Jesus, thank you for the 5. Have to say my impressions of the house guest year, especially Vince, have been the best part of the season. Thank you. So the idea would be that that's like a reward that gets released, feedback, that gets released if we sell enough from other places. I will tell you though, it's hard. The video essay is hard, dude. I've been working at it for like 2 weeks straight, and I'm like, how much? Ashley, thank you for the 5. I'm like barely 10 minutes in, and it's all temper. I haven't even recorded final VO. Also, I thought I could just use the book as a script, and I realized I couldn't. So I'm basically rewriting an entire chapter of the book to fit a video essay format. So that's what I've been doing in between watching Vince and Morgan. I will for sure drop a sneak peek on Patreon and release it early on Patreon at some point. Actually, I'm not sure I guess if it's a reward for book sales, I shouldn't drop it early on Patreon, but I would definitely give you a sneak peek. Catherine, thank you for the 5. Made the season of bad players bearable. When's the Kingdom Hearts video essay? Do I have Kellis Eyes beanie? A Kellis Eyes beanie? I don't, but that sounds fun. Ashley, thank you for the $5. Will Vince take a shot at Morgan? I don't think so. Can I make another plushie? I would honestly love to. I'd love to do another like big merch drop. Hunter, thank you for the 5. Would the Patreon members be the contestants? Yes, that would be the idea for sure. I would love to do another merch drop. We did one last year with the plushie and it was awesome. But obviously with the book coming out this year, I was like, it's honestly already, I've found it very difficult and draining to have so many things to be selling this summer. Pop, thank you for the $10. Between the Patreon and the book and all of the different places you have to go for the book and the audio book, and now you have to go to different stores for the book. And oh, we did a promo on YouTube with memberships. It's like I feel bad. I feel like I'm pushing in too many different directions. I like to have like one thing. But I just unfortunately a lot of I say unfortunately, fortunately, I had a lot of things coinciding in one summer. And you guys have been so awesome. But long story short, maybe next year with a merch drop. Why do I call my subscribers robots? Because people used to call me a robot. They still do. I mean, the joke has always been that people called me a robot, but they, like, right from the start, they said, like, oh, the robot's broken. People used to call me a robot, like, at work when I had a job, like a real job, because I was really regimented. But I was really regimented because I couldn't afford to buy food, so I just always had my own food, and it was the same food every time, and I always like, it was always like, I was counting my macros, and I made sure I like I did my workout in the middle of the day, and I was just very regimented, and I was always turning down uh, like I was always, oh, I have my own lunch, my healthy lunch, and people call me a robot. I unfortunately have not been climbing much. Yeah. Puya raid? Welcome, Puya. How was the stream? If you're still around. The robot regiment. I wish I were more regimented nowadays. What was my normal job? I made videos for a company. A couple companies. I made tutorial videos, marketing videos for a startup right out of college. And then my second job was travel videos for a nonprofit that that organized educational travel experiences for like older people. I don't want to call them elderly people, but older people. And I would make little videos about the excursions, and I would occasionally go and film them myself. But most of the time, we would send photographers to go film, and I would just edit in an office, and I didn't like it. I mean, I was lucky to have the job. It was a cool job to have, but I really hated working in an office, and it was a very like sort of stuffy environment. Jesus with 5. Every time I say, no, don't say that. It was the kind of place where like they didn't like this was part of it too. Part of why they called me. I mean, I was just very like, Scally, what's up? I was just like listening to podcasts and audiobooks at work all day. And I would like walk to the bathroom with my headphones in, and then my boss would be like, yo, people are saying you're like walking with headphones in and it's disrespectful. And I was like, oh, sorry. Cause like I don't get in trouble. So I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. And so then I was like, that I would take my headphones off, put them in my pocket, walk to the bathroom, put them back on. But I just never felt like I fit in there. It was it was a lot of like older people working at the company. There were a couple of young people there, but not many. And I was like a creative. You know, they were all like actual workers, and I was like fudging around with videos. All right, give me 1 sec here. Hello. Oh, it's bedtime, huh? What am I doing awake? What am I doing? Hmm. Have I made genuine friends with ex BB players? For sure. Hold on, Kelly. They're open baskets. That was Morgan's first HOH. I'm realizing. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It was her third. About to maybe get her fourth. I mean, to be fair, there's an easy argument to say that she also controlled Vince's first HOH. She was one of the people telling Vince not to put up Keanu, to put up Kelly. She wanted Zay on the block, and she wanted Zay to leave. Yeah, Mickey's too is arguable, but maybe fair. By the end of Mickey's HOH, she didn't actually, or by the end of the like whole veto saga, she didn't actually want Jimmy to go. She did sort of kickstart the process, but she backtracked on it eventually, realizing that it should have just been Catherine. But I think it's fair to give her credit for it. She certainly prevented Vince from going up. That's a very funny freeze frame. This is what happens when I do a late night stream, is that I'm like, uh, all right, it's only 11, you know. If I go to bed soon, then I'll have a decent amount of sleep, maybe. Catch up a bit in the morning or something. But then, here's the thing. Here's the problem. If I stop streaming now, I'm not going to be asleep for like an hour and a half. There's like an adrenaline that comes from being on stream. That like doesn't die down easily. Love watching feeds because I mute them for you. Right? Hey, this is the feed experience you should have over on Patreon. Muted pets. What do you think of these kittens, Kelly? What do you think? Hey, Kelly's gone now. The other Kelly. She's not instigating anymore. People aren't going to be talking about her as much, and I'm not going to think about you. Podrenalin, yeah. For sure. It happens to me. It's even worse at live shows. You go to a live show, you go to the after party thing. You're like dead tired. You go to the hotel, but you're just still so amped on like social interaction that it's like 4:30 in the morning and you're like, I need to sleep. Oh, there we go. Switch over to Patreon soon. Be happy to have you. Channel points don't have much use at the moment. I've always wanted to work on it, but you know, never quite happened. Patreon's so worth it. What I'm saying. I'm out of water. I won't leave Twitch. I have predictions. All right, all right. Oh, Kelly. Trying to say hi to the camera? All right, let's see. So many options. We are turning on subscriber only for the moment. Oh. There was just some spam happening, so I took it off the screen in case it got weird. Hey, buddy. Erica, thank you for the 3 months in advance. Kellis does not chew on anything except for headphone cords. It's literally the only thing in existence he chews. Outside of like, toys and stuff. Luckily, I got this braided one. It's been pretty resilient. He doesn't chew any other wires. Have I thought of doing what Will Neff does with his hot sauce, where chatters can buy hot sauce and gift it to chat in a giveaway for the book? I would love to do gifted stuff for the book. I have no idea how. And it's honestly probably a bit late at this point. You'd give so many books. I mean, honestly, like, if somebody was interested, especially if it were like through one of these other bookstores, we could probably do something. We'd probably figure something out manually. But I can look into it. Jesus, $2. Does Ava really say friendly that much? Honestly, more. Turn off the Twitch sub only. Where'd it go? There it is. Have I seen Jimmy's impression of Vince? No. Is it funny? Oh, she's reading. Oh. 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 Whoa. He's all over the keyboard. As of right now, the Patreon does. Oh. He's fully laid down on the keyboard. Okay, we're good. It didn't do anything. Oh, he's rolling on the keyboard. Hey, buddy. Hello. Oh, he's playful. Kellis, it's late. What are you doing playing? Hey, that's not for chewing. It's not for chewing. Oh no. Oh, he wants to play. He grabbed it. He's holding the cord with his paws and he's just going to town. No, stop grabbing it. Find a way to sell soundboard packs to Patreon to patrons. You need the collection. That wouldn't be hard. Okay, he's really going at it. He's really going at the keyboard. And now he's Kellis, come on. You can't chew this. This is not a chewable. All right, headphones out. I have the best camera. I like the camera. I just can't get autofocus to work, which is unfortunate. An emoji of my book would be cool. That is actually true. That would be cool. That's something I should have thought of. Oh, sorry. I should have muted. Because it's not my headphones anymore. It's like not on my mind. We also still need to get emojis over on YouTube. Yeah, I've always been careful with little like elastic bands or little twisty ties. I always make sure I clean those up because he's never like tried to eat those kinds of things, but you know. Am I gonna do watch alongs for the Amazing Race? Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure what the methodology will be. Because I think Amazing Race is airing right after Survivor, and they're both 90 minutes. So a 3-hour block is definitely a lot of watching. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Survivor will be very fun. Someone was asking earlier, as of right now, there's no ability to go back on Patreon and watch the live streams. If I do eventually provide that opportunity. I think it would only be temporarily. Basically, I don't want to be hosting long-term CBS episodes of things. You know what I mean? Mark, thank you for the $5. Matt's background looks like my background from last year. Did he move in? He did not. No. Other place to chat with people for live feeds when I'm not live. I mean, you can just use the Twitch chat. I don't. I mean, there's I could make. There's a Discord that you have access to if you're a patron or a Twitch subscriber. Um, that's probably the best place. For strictly my community, at least. Don't use the Twitch chat. Use the Discord. Anyway, I think we should probably call it. Kellis is telling me it's bedtime. Genuinely, if I stay up too late, he'll come and tap me and be like, Aaron, bed. All right. Here, let's. Oh no, he really wants to play. All right, give me a second. Go. Let me get your. Here, you play with that while I say goodbye to the stream. Anyway, thank you for joining me. The endurance comp, bit of a dud. But what are you gonna do? Can't all be winners. Quite a day. You know, it's not often that we have like this much to do and stream about at the end of a season. So, you know, that's something. I mean, this time last year, there was nothing. Nothing to talk about, nothing to stream about. The idea of doing a live feed stream in September, like alone is pretty wild, let alone like mid-September. So cool stuff. Stay tuned for all the rest of the happenings. I'll be back tomorrow morning, less than 12 hours, with an update. We've already talked about like the likelihood of different noms, so we'll basically have either confirmation that I'm right about where things should go, or if Vinny really is gonna steer off into some wild territory. And then Q&A tomorrow. For the patrons of Robin's podcast. And then we'll be back here for the for Unlocked. Jury segment, Brittany, James Gunn. I'm like genuinely kind of interested. I feel like it's gonna be a good one. Ooh. Anyway, thank you all for the subscriptions. If I missed any, the donations, the memberships, the patrons, all of you have been so kind and supportive. I hope you've enjoyed the streams today. Tons more coming tomorrow. not streams strictly, but podcasts and a little bit of a stream. So stay tuned, and I will see all of you tomorrow.